All right, everybody, welcome to the Subscription Podcast, episode number 9, lucky number 9. And today we're going to be talking about some fun things, new emerging things happening in the world of Apple. I'm going to tell you how I upset my 4-year-old. It was very dramatic in my household this past week via a subscription cancellation.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got an updated beef with Mailchimp. I feel bad talking about it.
Yeah, you just keep going to war with Intuit.
I know, right? But let's get into it. And then
let's get into it. That was a good one.
Pun intended. Pun intended. So Apple held their Worldwide Developers Conference, affectionately known as the WWDC, recently, and they're getting closer and closer to their augmented reality, virtual reality glasses. It's being referred to as Reality Pro right now, and it might be the final name of it. But I started thinking the other day, what kind of world is this going to open up for subscription?
Right. Because
you think about all the apps that live in the iPhone ecosystem that have subscription components to it. And then you have all these subscriptions out there that can layer into it. I mean, we started talking about this a while ago. It's going to be fun to see.
So is this similar to like the metaverse and the VR glasses?
See, I think they're taking it a step in another direction where it's going to be, there will be that VR component, but I think they're going to look a lot at AR. Because if you look at, I don't know where my phone went. I lost it. Oh, it's out there charging. So if you look at the back of the iPhone now, it's got the LiDAR on it. They've really been building this space in your photos to start to see more depth.
So they'll float out.
I mean, maybe like, but imagine, okay, so
I've seen some of that.
You have these glasses you put on, and imagine, you can pick up a printed version of the New York Times, which I know you think is weird.
Yeah.
But on that, you can then see, if you're a New York Times Apple subscriber, you could see like layers of additional information beyond that. You could open up the newspaper. You could click off into articles. You could pull them off and put them into a bucket over here.
Like Mission Impossible. Or there's that one movie where he's like,
yeah, that world can exist within less than a year.
So you think too, like for shopping, grab a shirt off the shelf, look at it,
hang it in your virtual closet,
or like you're looking at sneakers and you can like hold them and turn them and look at them.
How does this evolve Stitch Fix, right?
Yeah, it probably helps.
Where you can look at yourself in the mirror
with the clothes on. You like, and you click, and then that's on your body.
Yeah.
Or even like Warby Parker, because they got ahead with that with the glasses.
Dating apps. You can see yourselves with a significant other you're interested in.
Blonde or a brunette.
You can try anything. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different options out there for what it could do. I think, we started talking about this with subscription boxes, right? Could you expand on the experience?
I'm trying to think where where does it come into play? You've seen so much with the metaverse. It was like gambling and games, and how do you expand it within, the current marketplace in terms of like consumer goods and or consumer subscriptions? It has to be some sort of shopping, or cars, like shopping for cars. You get to really look at them, walk around the car, go inside of it. I don't know how real it can be though.
Yeah, look, I mean, when the iPhone came out, it created this whole new ecosystem of apps that could be made out there. And every day we're still seeing new innovative things happening. So imagine now you have a whole nother platform that people can build on top of. I think what we start to think about right now is just the beginning. It's where can it go? Where can, what type of experiences can you create? Not just from a VR. Like, I think there's tons of opportunity in the augmented reality space.
Probably travel.
Oh gosh.
You could go to like France and see the Eiffel Tower and you'll feel like you're actually there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they did a lot of it with in the sports arenas, being able to sit there and watch the game. It feels like you're sitting front row. But I can imagine travel pretty cool.
Yeah. Travel would be a lot of fun. Or even as you're actually walking around France, you can look at stats on the Eiffel Tower. You look at it. It'll show you how tall it is.
What kind of glasses are these?
I don't know. Like, we don't know yet.
Apple can't be like a pair of these. It's got to be like a headset.
Maybe, look they've been working on this for years. Like
if you had glasses like this,
thousands of people
saw the stats.
Yeah.
This building was built in 1981.
Or you see like the other like world's tallest buildings next to it and how tall they are compared to it.
That'd be insane.
It'd be madness.
Oh, I just thought of a great one.
Don't keep the idea. We can develop it.
Nah, we don't have time. Imagine if you could use it to furnish your home.
Yeah.
So you're looking at them, your home looks blank, but then you can grab this white couch and put it here. You could grab this little one-seater. You can put this table and it would look like how your room would look with the furniture in it.
Yeah.
And for the real estate world, when looking for homes.
Yeah. Well, imagine driving down a street and it'll show you every single one that's for sale. And above it will pop the number of bedrooms and the number and they've started to do this within the phones. You know, you can walk around using augmented reality and point it at, but it's not convenient.
No.
You burn through your battery real quick. And so like having glasses that you put on, man, I'm telling you, we're not far away from them being like the size of these real glasses.
Yeah, I believe that. And I think
the
in
next
20 years, there's going to be like a contact lens you put on that like literally is VR.
Would you get Neuralink? Are you familiar with Neuralink at all? Elon Musk's other project?
Yeah.
Where they implant the diodes, like the connectors into your brain.
What does that do though for you?
So the initial things they're trying to do is it'll help with people like, because the way they've been researching the brain and learning about the brain, people who have maybe have been incapacitated in some form or fashion.
It'll fix.
Like it can start to help correct that, give people the ability to walk, or give people the ability to see. Because you can work through those kind of things. So
I would only get it if I needed it.
Yeah. But like, then you go a step beyond that. Like imagine, like we've seen the power of AI with ChatGPT and all the other like AI stuff coming out there. Imagine if you have that feed into your brain as well. Yeah. Or like instant access.
Actually super smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I like to have things that are unnatural put into my body unless they're necessary.
Yeah,
so I'm not doing it.
You could be a superhero.
Kind of already am. It would just like, it would enhance me to it. Like I probably wouldn't qualify because oh, he's like too smart.
Like, well, what if, okay. So here's a world where I just completely miss when you go off on your ego trips. So like there's a subscription you get the Neuralink and you can subscribe to like various information, you know?
Yeah.
And but then when you stop paying for it, it goes away.
Just become dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Much like what Mailchimp did to me recently.
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you, they did it to you too.
Here we go again.
Let me tell you.
I don't even pay attention. I just pay.
Well, so this is an interesting thing, actually. Something I think is going to be valuable for our audience to understand because it actually is important. And I didn't realize it. So we were on Mailchimp. We moved over to HubSpot. And we started doing all of our emails in HubSpot. We canceled Mailchimp. And part of it was because we moved to HubSpot. Part of it was the prices started going up and it became less affordable for us to do. When you cancel your Mailchimp, all of your old emails,
gone.
All the images go away because they're stored on their backend database. Yeah. And so
you should have downloaded it before you canceled.
No, you can download it. But that's one thing. But let's say you go back in your inbox to an old email that SubSummit had sent you. The images aren't going to show up.
An old email.
It could be one from last week that we sent out a Mailchimp.
No.
Yes.
How? It's already landed. It's still connected?
The images are being downloaded from there.
So why wouldn't Mailchimp let it sit for a year?
What? Great question.
Well, I'm with you on this one.
Yes. Thank you. He's with me.
That was a horrible clap.
I actually thought it was okay.
Did you not hear the sound?
Well, yeah, but we're far away from the mic. We're far away. So
was it a good clap?
It wasn't, but we made good contact.
Oh,
that's good contact.
Thank you, Bradley.
All right. So listen, here's my pitch on this. I feel like when you're going to cancel Mailchimp, because I confirmed this with Louis and Jen, I was like, when you went to cancel, did they tell you this? Like, hey, by the way, your images and everything, they're gone as soon as you cancel. Yeah. Like for $20 a month based on your list size, we'll keep them alive for you. So people that option did not exist.
Well, we don't know if they told them or not.
No, I asked them.
Well, what if you reactivate? Do they reappear?
I would imagine. Well, no, they're probably gone at this point. They probably deleted. I'm telling you, like maybe they lived there for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, they probably lived there for a certain time.
I think you should at least look at, I'm not asking for anything for free because I know there's server resources or things. They don't really take up that much space and time. Maybe their space is an issue, but in my opinion, you should be given an option for a lower dollar amount to keep those images alive. And I think they could have
way to increase LTV, keep customers engaged.
And they could have downgraded the account to like a lower mail list size and we could have kept that. But I don't think they were aware of that at the time. That's my beef. You know, it is what it is.
Decently valid.
You know, the other small issue I have is QuickBooks. They keep throwing me ads now. And some of them, like there's a bar at the top. It's like, find out how we can save you this much on payroll. There's no way to close it or get rid of it. It just lives there. And it's annoying the crap out of me.
So they're making you pay and they're hitting you with ads.
Yeah, I'm paying for the service. I don't want to see I don't want to use your payroll. It's not.
I mean, where are you going to switch to?
Well, right. Exactly.
That's the problem.
Maybe Autobooks, Detroit-based company. I should go look at that and talk to them. Hey, look, this has been a big week for us in terms of SubSummit speakers.
Yeah.
We've got some amazing
best speaker
sessions.
lineup I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
And attendance of brands, right?
Oh
that
my
we have
gosh.
coming this year.
It's we're going to be at 2,000 attendees this year, and from so many different segments of subscription, and the conversations we're having with people are so fun because we know how valuable SubSummit is.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get in and you talk to somebody, you're like, yeah, this brand's going to be there and you're going to have the opportunity to network and these sessions. And it's just so much fun. So like a little sneak preview, we've got a media session that's going to be joined by Washington Post, New York Times, a former Wall Street Journal, lead a subscription over there, and talking about just kind of different offers and different offerings that are going to be, that they run through, because you imagine the markets that they're in, the options that they have. You look at a place like New York Times, they've got different publications, different games. How do you manage all that?
Right.
So they're going to be talking about that at SubSummit.
Yeah. Who are some of the other speakers? We got Harry's coming out, Coterie.
FabFitFun is going to be there. And
Google's coming to speak.
Yeah, Google. Neil Hoyne, an absolutely brilliant mind. And we did, we put the schedule together, did an awesome 1-2 punch with Neil Hoyne talking about database marketing. So looking at data science and how that can drive your marketing efforts, coupled with Nancy Harhut, one of our most highly reviewed speakers of previous events and stuff.
Email marketer, genius.
Talking about behavioral based marketing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that stuff.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like her books.
Yeah.
And not only is Nancy just brilliant and so smart, she's also just a great person.
Yeah.
Too. And Neil as well, in the talks we've had with him. So those are 1-2 punch on day one, and on our main stage, it's going to be unbelievable. Then we've got you're going to be sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, I get to speak a few times.
Yeah. So we're going to do another AMA. That was a really highly reviewed session last year.
Yeah, I love those because I don't even get the prep, and I just like the questions that come in.
So if you're out there, you're listening, you're coming to SubSummit, start your questions now for Chris George.
It's a big opportunity.
Where do you see most of the questions coming from people nowadays? Like what are people most asking, especially coming into this session?
I think that, everybody wants to acquire more customers, right? And I think what's important, where I'm sort of steering everybody towards, is understanding that this is the year of retention, and you got to focus on customer engagement. What we learned on my keynote with Haroon, our fireside chat on stage, is that consumers are now adding a subscription. If they add one, they're going to cancel one. Before, they might be adding 2 or 3 and they'd cancel one. That number's now crossed. So that tells you is that you might be in the health and beauty subscription space. You're not just competing against other health and beauty subscriptions. You're competing for share of wallet. That means you're competing with Netflix. You're competing with Peacock. You're competing with any subscription that they have. Because if they add one, they're going to cancel one.
Mm-hmm.
And so retention's really a big deal. And I think I'm getting a lot of questions on how to continuously engage with the customers. How do you think about proactive retention?
So what does that mean? Well, what does good engagement look like?
Yeah. Listening to your customers, having really good customer service, consistently identifying ways to keep them engaged, whether that's through email, communicating with them through social, providing value. One thing I'd heard was, in typical e-commerce, every time you sell something, you're convincing somebody to make a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
With subscription, you're convincing them to stay on. They've already made the purchase. So convincing them comes in a lot of forms. Like, what's the product offering? How much valuable is it to them? How are you engaging with them? Right. And unless you're a necessity, you have to think about, what am I going to do to make sure that I'm not canceled at some point?
Do you think maybe any subscription company should have a role, the chief relationship officer?
Or chief experience
officer.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's just focused on that experience and that relationship.
Dives really into it, looks at the data, understands the customer more than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Because that's where it lives. And that's what our theme of the event this year is engage, enrich.
We had that at Gentleman's Box. We had a chief experience. It was Kylie.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. Yeah. What were some of the things, if you were to build out that role today, what are the job responsibilities you'd give that person?
So understanding consumer data, feedback, feedback around the products.
Looking at survey data, stuff like that.
Yeah. Consistently reviewing customer inquiries, complaints, any customer service tickets. regularly, probably once a month, connecting with X number of current customers, just whether it's an email or a phone call.
What's a reasonable number in there? What do you think?
Maybe 10 to 20.
A week?
No, I'd say a month.
Okay.
It's hard to scale that, right? But if you can get, what's important is that you don't just talk to the current customers, you talk to the ones that left also. What could we have done better?
Yeah.
You learn a lot from those customers. And so you're consistently communicating with them and looking at feedback, and you're communicating with them on social. You're making sure the social's managed correctly. You're making sure the customer service response times are at the appropriate amount, and really studying the data on feedback. Because look at, all of us may think we know the answer to what to provide and what to do. The truth is the customers will tell you what they want.
Right.
And you have to go where the customer wants.
So what's that feedback loop look like? Do you know, is that something where you're the person in that role providing like a weekly report, giving you a download of it? You know, do you present that to the whole team? Do you just present that to senior management?
It's typically presented to like the senior management customer service team. There's times where I think you showcase to everybody, because everybody should understand the customer really well. But you know, it's something that's really reported to the CMO too, because it helps with how they're marketing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very important position. It's another form of like head of customer service in a sense. Right. But experience, because so much of experience is customer service. It's important to know that the customer experience starts from the time they see an ad to landing on the website, the journey through checkout, the post-checkout experience, the delivery thing. That's all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any one part of that goes wrong.
Yeah.
It sours the experience. Doesn't make
it hard. Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. And that's where, you know, I think as companies as acquisition, you know, we've talked about this before, right? Acquisition costs keep going up. There's more options out there. You're fighting for share of wallet more than ever before. And people are cutting costs. So it's like this trifecta of madness on your, you know, acquire new customers. You got to work harder and you got to do better than ever before. And I think that's, you know, that's what we talk about at SubSummit a lot. We're talking a lot about this year about engaging those customers, enriching those experiences, so they become your best referral source. And Jay, you know, we've talked about Jay quite a bit. Jay Myers from Bold Commerce talks about this, that subscription death curve, where you focus on doing great things and asking for those referrals, it grows, right? The brands grow. So that's interesting. I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast how I upset my 4-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Turns
out I also upset the 8-year-old. 12-year-olds didn't care. All they want right now is Snapchat, which is a very difficult conversation in our house. My 12-year-old daughters want Snapchat. I don't want them to have it, but conversation for another day. So I upset Logan, though. He went to jump on his Amazon Kindle and his games were gone.
Oh boy.
Right? End of the world.
End of the world. Screaming.
And here's what happened. And originally I wanted to come into this podcast and talk about my cancellation experience with Amazon Kids. Because I was paying $7.99 a month or something. I don't remember how much it was. Anywhere from $4 to $8 a month. Whatever it was, I was paying for something we weren't using. Because a month ago, I asked my wife, I was like, do the kids play the Kindles anymore? She's like, no, they don't use them. They use their iPads now. They play Roblox. I was like, cool. I'm canceling this because they're not using it. So I go on to Amazon. I find the Amazon Kids thing and I go to cancel, and it's like, are you sure you want to cancel it? You've got all these benefits. Here's all the stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Then it took me to another thing. Is like, after I gave my reason, it's asking, you know, hey, do you want to stay on for this offer for this amount of time? I was like, no, cancel, because I'm not using it. Not even kidding you. A week later, they pick up this stinking Kindle and they go on and their games aren't there. And so it was amazing to me. So then I had to sign back up again. But here's what's fun. I got a free trial.
Oh.
So I got like 30 days for free.
So you worked the system.
Kind of. I didn't know about it. Yeah. Not intentionally, but it was, so props to Amazon, right? Because the cancellation experience was good. But
get you back.
Yeah. And they got me, you know, a little frustrating that they have to like have a subscription to be able to play all these games. But I guess, you know, they have unlimited games and all this stuff. So it's worth it. But a couple of interesting things I've noticed on Amazon recently. First and foremost, I was offered a subscribe and save the other day for a one-off product I was going to buy. We're looking to buy speakers for behind the TV out there. And it's like, do you want to subscribe and save to these speakers for $14.24?
So we get a new one every month?
Or buy them for $14.99?
Well, it's interesting you say that because sometimes the subscribe and save is such a minimal savings.
Yeah.
It's like 3%. Like,
but why would it throw that offer to me? A staple you typically only buy.
Yeah.
Like, come on, is the data intelligence not there?
Yeah, they didn't know you wouldn't need speakers regularly. Yeah, that's insane.
But the other thing that we saw recently about Amazon is they're experimenting with a Prime Lite subscription in other countries. So in India, they're doing this for $9.99 rupees per year, which I did a Google Translate on this. It's only like $20 or something.
Okay. I think you're going to say like 20 cents.
No. But still, you pay $139 in the United States for Amazon. Yeah. But they're doing a Lite, which changes your delivery time you can have, changes the amount of music you have access to, and video, which is really interesting that when you think about it, Amazon's only at one price point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they should have more than one, though?
It's interesting. I was talking to a couple of professors about this yesterday. And options can be good. It opens up the market a little bit, right? So I don't know what share of... I'd be interested to know what percentage of consumers in the U.S. have Prime.
It's got to be like everybody.
So like when it's like that, then you don't
Prime?
need
Yeah. He has Prime. Bradley have Prime?
Yeah.
All right. 100% of this room has Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I would want we should look this up at some point. It only makes sense if you don't think there's enough people that have it, but the truth is everybody has it.
Let's look here. How many Amazon Prime subscribers are there? United States, 200 million. United States.
And how many people are in the U.S.?
Oh, God. What's the population of the United States right now?
Wait a minute.
United States, 331 million?
Get the... Hold on a second.
60%?
No, you're dead. No way that data's right.
I mean, this is the Google.
They're counting a household with 5 people all have Prime.
Users, 200 million users. But wait, is Amazon US? I mean, this is what...
No, users are Prime subscribers.
Users.
Okay, it's very different. You could be an Amazon user and not have Prime. You could down...
No. Prime users. Prime users.
My gosh. Hold on. That means every household. Probably. How many households are in the U.S.? Yeah. They don't need another option. They could just raise the price actually for the rest of their life.
123 million households in the U.S.?
Okay, so...
It's basically every household.
Well, talk about a monopoly.
Yeah, it's the end of the world.
And so it's just everybody concede to Amazon. It's over.
Yikes.
Hey, what's his name?
Jeff Bezos.
Hey, Jeff, you really did it.
You're good. You're straight. You can retire now.
Like, hey, nobody going to beat you.
Jeez, oh, Pete's.
Hey, my man, ain't nobody going to beat you.
No, you're done.
Good. They don't need to offer another option now. They're only doing that in other countries for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, look at, I think this is
insanity.
Who's close to that? Like, I mean, Netflix is doing pretty good. Like, we'll save these. Look how many subscribers there are on Netflix. There's no way they're nearly that. Netflix subscribers in the U.S. 174 million.
Oh, what?
I don't know.
Okay, your computer's tweaking out. I don't believe any of this
in
stuff.
the U.S. in 2021.
I don't believe this nonsense.
I don't know. I don't know how this works out.
The U.S. population include a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay, so then something's wrong.
My mind can't handle this.
Every household has Netflix and Amazon.
I mean, I guess so.
And,
right?
there's
there's
stocks.
There's there's 123 million households and 174 million.
Well, that doesn't. Households don't count apartments, right?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. So you got that. Okay.
I'm gonna break this microphone.
That's it. We're breaking the microphone.
Okay, let's just put it in perspective. Like, how many subscribers are there to something else, something smaller, like Peloton?
Peloton didn't have Peloton subscribers, but that's in U.S. Paid digital subscribers, 874,000 total paid digital.
More of a reasonable number.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's...
Remember Blockbuster could have bought Netflix?
Yeah, right.
Talked about this. One of my talks.
So, I mean, look at history shows somebody will eventually unseat Amazon, right? Because you remember Sears and Kmart and all
Nobody's unseating Amazon.
Don't say that.
For a long time.
Okay, because everybody thought Google wasn't going to be gone, and now you hear all these talks of Microsoft and what they're doing with ChatGPT.
Google's coming out with a better chatbot.
Bing.
They already talked about it. Google's got a way better chatbot coming out.
Maybe.
No, it's already in production. I've confirmed.
Oh,
I've talked to resources. No, I'm serious.
Talked to Larry Page.
No, I talked to some folks that told me they have a much better product coming out.
Be interesting. Look, I mean, they should, right? They should have some sort of AI driving that.
Yep.
But not everything lasts forever, and Microsoft was once dominant, and Apple came in and surpassed them. Microsoft's making.
I don't know how you beat Amazon right now.
I mean, look, I'm not saying this is going to happen next year or in the next decade.
No, in the next 100,
in
I don't
50 years. In the next 2 decades, there will be companies much bigger. Like I believe Tesla is going to be one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, but they're different. I'm saying for what Amazon does, I don't know how.
But something that doesn't exist right now will be in one of the top 10 biggest companies in the world
think of it.
in the next decade.
Probably not.
You can't say that.
I won't think about it. I'm saying I probably think about what it is, but I probably won't. I was kidding.
All right. We've blown our our minds here. So like this is a good
I'm kind of
place
sick about
to
this.
stop for the podcast.
These guys' stock should be through the roof. It doesn't, like why they got to raise their price? Everybody has it.
But that's what's crazy. They raise their price and all of a sudden that's an extra $200 million that month. Could you imagine?
Just
by $1.
$1. $200 million. Yeah. That $200 million that month, 1.2.
50 cents is
$2.4 billion for the year.
Right. It's madness. Well,
hey, Paul, I need an extra Billy. Let's raise the price 50 cents.
Gosh, I need a new yacht. Oh, what can we do? Oh, just raise it by $1.
Quarter.
That's it. You need a quarter. Yeah.
All right.
Before we depart, I want to remind everybody you can get tickets at subsummit.com for our upcoming event coming up pretty quick here, May 31st to June 2nd in Dallas. Don't need to say Texas, but we'll remind you Dallas is in Texas. And an amazing speaker lineup, and ticket prices are going up soon, so get them while they're hot.
See you guys.
All right. Until the next episode, like, follow, subscribe, comment, whatever button you find nearby that is in a positive fashion, please do it. And we'll see you next episode. Thanks.